The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Why does it always come down to personal one-on-ones with you, huh?
Well, that's the best way to make a decision.
It's the best way to manipulate people and try to rip them off. You got it right the first time. Gavin Glass is only 19 years old, a youngster out of the upstate New York area, calls himself a cut above the rest. He was a major multi-sport star in high school, but once he left high school and realized that maybe his reputation in high school wasn't enough to go through the rest of his life, he wasn't exactly the golden boy anymore, Gavin Glass got a bit of a mean streak and a chip on his shoulder, and that's brought him to pro wrestling to take out some aggression. He's a great young athlete, he's got a bright future, but his ego may hold him back a little bit. But you want to talk about the opposite of an ego, a very humble man who's worked his butt off to get where he is today since day one in PCW. That's the opponent of Gavin Glass tonight, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in action for the first time since a hellacious war with one Matthew Justice, and he'll be coming through that curtain in just about 5 seconds or less. Sonny Vice had his punk card pulled by Matthew Justice. Matt came out and said, you don't have the heart, you don't have what it takes, you don't have the respect, you don't have the fire in you, you're not good enough. You're just good with being okay, and that's not going to fly here. And Sonny Vice went into a hellacious war with Matthew Justice a couple months ago, and I think silenced a lot of critics. And to be honest with you, we haven't seen Matthew Justice in this building since. And I think you can thank the man on the left side of the screen for a big reason of that, because Sonny Vice stood up for himself, and he silenced his biggest detractor, and I think that's pretty awesome.
Well, I certainly wouldn't thank Sonny Vice. I would blame Sonny Vice. I would point the finger at Sonny Vice for that, but we don't know why Matt Justice isn't here. It could have nothing at all to do with Sonny Vice.
We do know, actually. Keep in mind, I am the head of this talent roster. I'm in charge and director of wrestling operations. It's my job to know where people are. And I know that Matt Justice has not been here due to a health issue. And I'm not going to get any more detail about that, but you can say that Matthew Justice beat the hell out of Sonny Vice, and you'd be right. But Sonny Vice fought back, and he beat the hell out of Matt Justice, too. And that was a big coming of age for Sonny Vice. And now a couple of young athletes. I think Sonny Vice is about, 20, 21, 22 years old. Gavin Glass, just shy of his 20th birthday. This is the future of professional wrestling right here. These two guys are going to be tearing it up for many years to come. And who knows, this could be the first of a budding rivalry. And there you see some of that disrespect by Gavin.
I'll tell you, I like this Gavin Glass kid.
Oh! Well, will he be fragile as Glass when Sonny Vice is done with him?
You know, sometimes in wrestling...
Suicide dive by Sonny Vice.
Well, sometimes in wrestling, you smack the back of your head and you walk and talk funny for a little bit, but sometimes you got to not be afraid to slap the person that you're staring across the ring from to let them know that you're in this and to get their attention.
Oh, Gavin gets Sonny's attention there. Straight boot to the side of the jaw as Sonny was coming back in. Gavin Glass, the opportunist that time.
You know, Gavin Glass, you mentioned both of these young men, actually, very young into their professional wrestling careers. Gavin Glass or Sonny Vice, a win would do great things. We did see Sonny Vice, I don't want to say quiet Matthew Justice, but as you did mention, has not been seen recently. So you'd have to argue that maybe he got the better of him there. But Gavin Glass taking it to Sonny Vice right now and not being afraid to bend the rules, not break them, but to bend the rules to his advantage. I gotta tell you, I got a lot of respect for a guy like that.
All right, well.
Just nice to see somebody choke somebody or punch him in the eye or slap him in the face. Just like that. It's like he heard me. Well, that wasn't.
And Sonny Vice reciprocates. How about that? That ticked Gavin Glass off.
That's just the kind of guy that Sonny Vice is.
Yeah, he stands up for himself. Oh, God. Hard whip into the buckle. Gavin mocking Sonny, mocking these people. He's been here 5 minutes. He's already made a lot of enemies.
Well, that could be a record. Normally, it takes you about 10 to 15 minutes to realize the dirt in the low class of Cleveland.
Sunset Flip coming up has him no. This is Gavin's PCW debut, looking to make a great first impression, and already rubbing a lot of people the wrong way.
Well, I love the kid. I think everything he does that I've seen so far is great.
My point stands. Head of steam, the running sleeper.
Now that was beautiful. You saw him get a big burst there, a lot of steam going there, and cinch in that headlock there. Did you see that? That was textbook. You don't call stuff like I do.
No. Sometimes I use words. Gavin, the recipient of a series of elbows by Sonny Vice. There's a handful of hair. Come on. Gavin into the cover now. Finds 2 that time.
I'm going to have to agree with Gavin Glass here. Tom done a little bit slow on that count.
Did Gavin Glass pay you off or something? Look at Sonny lands on his feet. And every time we see Sonny Vice, we see a little bit more fight in him, a little bit more heart and determination. This kid is really starting to come into his own.
And I'll tell you, these two are throwing some haymakers with those forearms.
Oh, Gavin with a thrust kick. Not sure if he caught him in the chest or the jaw, but Sonny Vice reciprocates. Inzaguri on his way down, and Gavin Glass collapses as well. And we have seen a lot of effort from both these athletes, but the crowd coming alive for Sonny Vice.
Well, this could be the battle of who's able to get up first and get the upper hand on their opponent. Hey, both men, I will say, I'll give credit where it's due. If you can give credit to some of my friends, and I will give credit to one of yours. Sonny Vice showing me something.
It's not about who my friends are. It's about who's getting it done in the ring. There's no friend card to play when I'm in charge of company. And there's Sonny Vice with a jumping heel kick and a clothesline as well. Some people think there's a friend card, but I don't see them on the lineup here today. Be that as it may, Sonny Vice charging in. And Gavin Glass is woozy in the corner reversal. And Gavin springboard and hits the cutter. Gavin calls himself a cut above the rest. Will that be enough? 2 and no. And look at the shock on the face of Gavin Glass. He thought that was going to be it.
Well, he clearly thought that he had Sonny Vice put away, and I think he took a little bit, just a half a second to gloat, a half a second to be proud of himself, pat himself on the back. That's a mistake that a young kid would make. If he had somebody to advise him, I could do 2 jobs.
Oh, but your egos wouldn't fit in the same room. Sonny Vice with a rocker dropper. Gavin could be out. No. Gavin's still trying to shake those cobwebs, though. But once again, Gavin wants to be the star. He wants to be the hero. He wants to be the varsity quarterback of PCW, to use an adage. But it's not that easy. Sonny Vice is going to fight you till he can't fight anymore.
Well, that's all well and good, but Gavin has experience being a winner. He's just has experience. You mentioned a multi-sport athlete. I'm sure the entire Glass family, from Father George and Mother Meredith, I'm sure the whole family has experience doing one thing. Starts with W, ends with inning. That's winning, and that's what that family's a part of.
And you know what? I'll be the first to admit, Sonny Vice doesn't know that feeling very often. He hasn't won a match yet in PCW, but he's got a chance. Overhead neck breaker. Gavin gets spiked. Sonny Vice giving it his all, and all near fall.
And I want to point out, Sonny Vice still hasn't won a match yet. So, Mr. Glass undefeated here in PCW. Hasn't been pinned once.
That is true. That is true. And Sonny Vice looking to change that. Measuring Gavin Glass, who's to a knee. Vice, went for that Shining Wizard variation. Gavin a step ahead. Hits a knee strike of his own. Chops Sonny Vice with a cover 2 and no. And there you see that frustration setting in. This guy's got a little bit of a screw loose in his own right. Thinks he should still be heralded and celebrated and had parades thrown in his honor like back in high school. Hey, welcome to the big leagues. Welcome to the real world. Welcome to life, Gavin Glass. It's not all about you all the time. But notice the knee brace comes down, the knee pad, and the bone of the knee is exposed. And if Gavin connects with Sonny Vice, Vice will be out of it.
Well, he certainly got him lined up.
Oh, wait a second. Sonny Vice rolls through. Hits that Shining Wizard out of nowhere. Hook on the leg. Sonny Vice, his first victory in PCW.
Here is your winner, Sonny Vice.
Now that's a hell of a win for Sonny Vice. Two evenly matched competitors fought his heart out. But I'll tell you what, Sonny Vice earned this one every step of the way. You can't deny that.
I honestly would love to, but I can't. I will give it to Sonny Vice there. I actually thought that Gavin Glass had it pretty much from the midway point of that on. He seemed to have the momentum in his favor. But Sonny Vice able to pick up his first win, an impressive win. And I'll tell you, I don't think we've heard the last of Mr. Glass.